This conference will now be recorded.
Hi everyone, welcome to Isha Training Solutions. Thanks for joining. We will wait for 2 more minutes for others to join and then we'll start our discussion. 2 minutes we'll wait and then we'll start our discussion, guys. Thanks for joining. We'll wait for 2 more minutes and then we'll start our discussion. Thank you. Once again, welcome everyone. Welcome to Isha Training Solutions. Thanks for joining. So, in yesterday's session, basically we discussed about the course content. What are all the content that we are going to learn, like that we discussed yesterday. So today, pretty much we are going to start the day one topic. Okay, day one topic. So I also told you like this course content is actually designed like from the basic level you can start and then till the advanced level we are going to discuss. So that is the reason we are starting from the basics. What is performance testing? Okay. What is performance testing? Okay. So maybe before even coming to this point, I will quickly go a little before and then we'll come to this point basically. So any new requirement that is actually coming. Okay. So any new requirement that is actually coming. So uh, the customer end they will float it like RFP. Okay, RFP. So request for proposal. Okay, request for proposal. So the customer will float the requirement in RFP document. So basically, as a service companies, what they will do, they will read those RFP documents and then they will submit their solution. They will submit their solution. So based on the qualification of the service vendor, the customer will invite them for the defense presentation. Okay, they'll invite them for the defense presentation. In that defense presentation, all the service vendors, example, probably you consider like Cognizant, Infosys, TCS, Wipro, those companies will go for their defense presentation and then they will present it over there. Based on the presentation, the customer will award the project to these companies. Okay, either it may be a development project or it may be a only testing project or it may be a maintenance project, like that different requirements, different projects the respective service vendor will receive from the customer. Okay, that is a procedure, guys. Example, if we are receiving a development come testing project. Okay, example, they ADM projects. Okay, application development and maintenance project, right? So once you are receiving the project, so what you are going to do, you are going to do development. Okay, developers will do developments, and then they will do internally. They will do unit testing. Okay, in SDLC model, that is the SDLC model itself. Okay, In SDLC model, what developers basically they will do their development first. Okay, based on collecting the requirements, they will collect the requirements, and then they'll convert that requirements into working model, which is the development phase. Okay, once they are done with the development process, they'll do unit testing locally. They will do unit testing, and then they'll give it to the integration testing. Okay, what they will do, they will do unit testing locally. They'll do unit testing. Okay, and then they will give it to the integration testing team. Integration testing team. Okay, so locally they will do unit testing. Developers, what they are doing is actually unit testing. They will give it to integration testing team. In certain organization, they are calling that as SIT or IST, whatever. Okay, integrated system testing or system integration testing, whatever you call that as. Once integration testing is actually completed, they are doing testing called performance testing. In parallel, in certain organization, they follow the user acceptance testing. Okay, so performance testing is also happening post integration testing, and certain organization in the similar time only they'll start the user acceptance testing. Okay, acceptance testing. So UAT, they call that as UAT. Okay, so at this point, okay, when integration testing is actually completed, that moment only we are going to start the performance testing or user acceptance testing. Why we are starting the user acceptance testing or performance testing at this point of time? Because you are expecting a stable application. Stable. Okay, you should not have very minor functional issues and all. Small cosmetic issues and all, or small functional issues and all, your application should not have. At least you should have a stable application. That is the reason we are doing the performance testing post integration testing. Okay, that is a little background, guys. Okay, little background is, this is how a proposal is starting. This is how the service companies are submitting their proposal. This is how post completion of the presentation they are getting the projects. Once that they are doing the development activity. In development activity, there are other testing cycles also there. Unit testing, integration testing, and post which we are coming into the performance testing or performance testing, and also user acceptance testing. In performance testing, what we are doing, that is what our focus area. I'll take a pass here, guys. Any question till now? Yeah. So even you guys wanted to have a little more little additional information. The testing types are actually they classified into functional testing and non-functional testing. Okay, functional testing and non-functional testing. Okay, functional testing and non-functional testing. So in functional testing, what you are doing, people are doing what? They are manually, okay, manual testing. Okay, they are manually checking the functionality, and they are using the automated functional testing also. Okay, okay, automated functional testing also they are doing. Basically, manual testing, what people will do, they'll go validate whether the expected functionality is actually working or what. Login is working or what. Search is working or what. Submit is working or what. Click is working or what. Drag, drop, right click, left click. All the functionalities related to the application is actually working or what. Like that, they will do it in the manual testing. Functionally, they are checking the manual functionality, they are checking it. Okay. Similarly, they will use automation. Automation testing is nothing but whatever you are doing it manually, right? Same thing you are going to do through the tool. Example, there are tools like Selenium, UFT. Those are the functional automation tool. Through that, they are automating the process. Either they will use Selenium or UFT. Okay, UFT is a commercial tool, Selenium is a open source tool. Either of the tool, they'll use it, and then they will automate the process. They will automate the process. So that is the manual testing or automation testing they are calling, which is the functional testing. The other side is actually called as non-functional testing. Non-functional, which is not at all related to functionality, which is the non-functionality of the application. Okay, so I'll say what are all the test types. Majorly, they call that as usability, compatibility, compatibility, accessibility, security, performance. So these are the non-functional testing types. Okay. So in industry right now, these are the testing types people are doing. In that, familiar testing type is actually performance. I think you guys would have heard about performance testing before, but other than that, also there are non-functional testing people are doing in the industry. Okay, so so usability means how usable your application is. Okay, user friendly, how usable your application is. Okay, compatibility. Okay, compatibility means whether your application is actually compatible with all browser versions or all device versions, all OS versions, like that. You are checking the compatibility of the application. Okay, there are application what will happen after certain browser version it will not work. There are application what will happen after certain Android version it will not work. So which means that compatibility is also important. So that is the reason our application to which level of Android version or to which level of browser version it will work, that you need to make sure by doing different compatibility testing. Accessibility is nothing but maybe you have some challenges. Okay, say like some physically challenged people are there, right? For them, they will not visually see anything, or they will not hear anything, right? For those people, what provision that you are having it in your application? Okay, there are application they will provide provision for these people to use it. Either either they will add some speaker feature, or they will add certain additional capabilities that will enable them to use that application. Okay, even if you look at it in your keyboard, okay, when you're using your computer or laptop, in your keyboard, exactly in J button, exactly in J button, there will be some small projection will be there, small projection. Why? Because for the visually challenged person, they have to touch the keyboard and they have to understand that is actually J button, then only they will do their typing. So that is simple example for accessibility purpose. Okay, so accessibility is what are all the provision that we are having it in our application to make them use it. And then security. Security is what? How secure your application is. How secure your application is there any DDoS attack people are doing? Is there any hacking people are doing? Is there any data related issue that are happening or what? Okay, static way, dynamic way, any issue is actually happening in the application or what, like that, they will do the testing in the security testing. And finally, our scope of testing, which is the performance testing. Performance testing. So what is performance testing? Now we are actually coming to this point. What is performance testing? Checking the stability of the application, checking the stability of the application under various workload. Okay, checking the stability of the application under various workload. Under various workload, you are going to do the testing. That is actually called as performance testing. You are checking the stability of the application or performance of the application. Stability of the application or performance of the application under various workload conditions. Okay, we are going to use different load condition, and we are going to say your application is actually stable or not. It is actually stable or not. So that is where performance testing we are doing. That is where performance testing we are doing, checking the stability of the application under various workload condition. Okay, because you wanted to make sure, okay, 50 user, 100 user, 200 user, 500 user, 1000 user, like that, you are changing the workload and you are making sure your application is actually working fine or not. That is the reason we are doing the performance testing. Performance testing. Any question, guys, till now?
Saravanan, what is SIT testing? I mean, who will do this SIT SIT?
See, these manual testers we discussed, right? Manual testers and functional testers. Those are the people will be there in the SIT, system integration testing. So basically, in unit testing, what will happen? Each developers, whatever they developed individually, they will test it. That is actually the unit testing. Whatever the developer they are testing, developing, they are going to test it in their local environment itself. That is actually unit testing. All these developers, they will integrate their code and then they will give it to the integration testing team. That's where the SIT or IST we are calling. Those people will test the integrated system. I mean, multiple developers, they develop the project and they are combining into one system. That is what they are going to test it in the SIT. Basically, the functional testers or the automation testers, that is the environment basically. Okay, SIT is an environment. In that environment, these manual testers or functional testers or automation testers, they will test their functionality. Certain organization in the SIT environment itself, okay, in the SIT environment itself, performance testing will happen, or in certain organization they'll give a different environment for performance testing. Okay, Shahinsha?
Okay.
Okay, maybe since because you asked the question, there is one there are concepts like people will talk about progression progression testing, progression testing and regression testing. Regression testing, this also a word everybody will use it in the real time. Progression testing and regression testing. So what is that progression testing and what is regression testing? So when you are giving a new functionality, when you are giving the new functionality for the first time, and that time you are doing the testing, means that is actually called as progression testing. First time the code is ready, the functionality is ready. That time you are testing means that is actually called as progression testing. Be it like functional testing, be it like non-functional testing. When you are doing the first time, that is actually progression testing. Say like one release completed or one time you completed the execution, second time you are doing the same activity means that is actually called as regression testing. Regression example, I completed the first release, second release I need to check the same functionality means that is actually called as regression testing. Okay, repeated, I am going to repeat that test, that is actually called as regression testing. Progression testing and regression testing, regularly people will use this word. In that case, what you need to understand, this is the first time I'm doing the testing, new functionality is actually developed and this is the first time I'm doing the testing means I'm going to call that as progression testing. I did it last release also, this time also I'm validating whether the functionality is still working without having any problem or what. That time I'm doing the regression testing. Okay, so now completely come back to our topic, which is actually performance testing. So performance testing means what? Just now I told you, checking the stability of the application under different workload condition. Under different workload condition. That is where you are doing the performance testing. Okay, so this performance testing, why we are actually using different tools? Okay, there are tools in the market, like even our scope of learning is actually NeoLoad. There are other tools like Jmeter, load runner, blaze meter, gatling, k6, like that. Lot of tools are there in the market. Why we are actually going for these many tools in the market? Why not this cannot be achieved manually? Because say like our objective is what? You need to test the application under various workload condition, which means that what customer is actually expecting 100 user load, 200 user load, 500 user load, 1000 user load, like that customer is actually giving that target to us. Okay, in that case you cannot recruit 100 people, 200 people, 500 people, 1000 people to sit in a common room and ask them to click the login button. ask them to click the search button, ask them to click the purchase button. No, that is not possible. Okay, you cannot make that many number of people to sit together and then do this activity. Okay, that is the reason we are using the tools, performance testing tools. The functionality of the performance testing tool is actually what? Making multiple users, multiple virtual users, they are not real user, virtual users, to click that login button, click that search button, click that purchase button. So that is the usage of the performance testing tool. You are using the tool to virtualize those many number of users and then do the testing, whatever the requirement provided by the client, right? That many number of user load you are going to use it. Any question, guys, till now? Yeah. So performance testing, I mean, the first topic I told you, what is performance testing. So performance testing, obviously checking the application under various workload condition like that we discussed. So you are testing your application. It may be your web application or whatever. So you are going to test your application under various um, workload condition. Okay, that is the that is the understanding. Okay, next one, performance testing life cycle. Performance testing life cycle, actually guys, any activity that you are doing, any activity that you are doing, there is a life cycle people are following. There is a life cycle people are following. Okay, so I mean, even I told you, right? For development activity itself, there is a life cycle. Okay, SDLC, SDLC, software development life cycle. Okay, so SDLC people are following, and I told you manual testing, right? Manual testing or functional testing, like that I told you, right? Those people also following a life cycle, which is STLC, software testing life cycle. So similarly, performance testing team also they are following the life cycle, which is actually PTLC, performance testing life cycle. Performance testing life cycle. Okay. So what is happening inside the performance testing life cycle? Guys, please observe this particular section in a detailed way. Okay. Because this will be very useful during your interview time. During your interview time, this will be very, very useful. Okay. So in performance testing, the first activity is actually called as non-functional requirement gathering. Non-functional requirement gathering. Okay, non-functional requirement gathering. So actually, the word should be coming as requirement gathering only. Okay, the word should be coming as first step is actually requirement gathering only. But since because it is a non-functional testing, performance testing is a non-functional testing, so that is the reason we specifically mention collecting the non-functional collecting the non-functional requirements. That is what we mentioned it here. Okay, so basically what is this requirement gathering or non-functional requirement gathering? Any performance testing activity that you wanted to do it, any performance testing activity that you wanted to do it, first of all you should know the individual requirements, what is actually required. Say like example, um, typical example is your user load. Okay, user load, what you have to do, or business business flow, what business transaction that you need to do performance testing, or even your throughput, how much of a throughput that you need to achieve, or even environment detail, which environment that you have to do the testing. So like that, non-functional requirement gathering is nothing but in order to carry out your performance testing activity, What are all the bare minimum requirements that you need to ask them? Be it like target related information or environment related information, business transaction related information, test data related information, data volume related information, anything, those are all coming under non-functional requirement gathering only. Because without that non-functional requirement, you cannot do what? You cannot do performance testing. You cannot do performance testing. So this requirement gathering is actually important. Requirement gathering is actually important, very very important. Okay, so first step is actually what? Non-functional requirement gathering. Non-functional requirement gathering. Okay, so first you are collecting the non-functional requirement. Next step, in certain organization they call the stage as test strategy phase or test planning phase. Okay, or test planning phase. Okay, so most of the organization they'll use the word test planning only, but in certain organization they are using the word test strategy also. But the slight difference between what is test strategy or test planning means, test strategy will have high level informations only. High level means what is your scope, what is your out of scope, what you are testing, where you are testing. Those are the high level informations, it will be there. Okay, risk, assumption, those are the high level information, it will be there in the test strategy document. But test planning is the place you are going to do a very 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 detailed planning document. Okay, in scope, out of scope, your testing process, each phase what you are going to do, how many people you are going to do, what tool that you are going to use, how many test types that you are going to execute, when you are going to start the test, when you are going to end the test, what are the artifacts that you will provide, like that. Every information that will be there in the test planning document. And you need to share this test planning document for the review also with the customer. You need to share it with the customer for the review also. The customer has to review and accept. Customer has to review, accept, or they will provide certain review comments also. You need to update that review comments and then keep it as a proof. Okay, because in future, if there is any difference of opinion between you and the customer, that time you need to show them to the customer, this is what we committed and this is what we performed. So that is the reason this test planning document is actually very very important. Whatever it is there in the test planning document, you need to complete it and then provide the sign, get the sign off from the client. Okay, that is what your objective. Okay, first step is actually collecting the non-functional requirement document. Okay, so in certain organization, even this non-functional requirement document, what they are doing, either they are sharing the questionnaire document to the customer. They'll share the questionnaire document to the customer. Inside that you will have certain questions. Okay, what is your, yeah, what is your scope of work, what are all the application we have to test, what are all the technology details, architectural details, like that. Inside the questionnaire document they'll have certain questions. That questionnaire document they will share it to the customer. Customer will fill the questionnaire document, and based on that they are going to get the non-functional requirements. Certain organization they are working in this way. But in certain organization what they are doing, no no, I don't understand what these questions are all about. I don't have any idea about these non-functional requirement, like that. If they are saying means, you will discuss with the stakeholder or business analyst. Okay, BA, business analyst, or developers. Okay, so with these people you will interact. I mean, the same questionnaire document only, but orally you will ask those questions to these people and you will collect the requirements. Okay, in certain organization it is actually working in this way also. I mean, they don't have any idea. They'll say, I read those questions, but I did not get any idea about those questions, like that. If they are replying, in that case, you can have a call with the stakeholder, business analysts, and developers, and then ask those questions orally, and then whatever the reply that they are providing, based on that you are going to prepare the non-functional requirement document. And where they don't have any clarity, you need to do certain assumptions also. No other go. No other go. Because if they don't have any idea, at least in certain places you need to do certain level of assumptions as well, but you need to convey the same to the stakeholders as well. Okay. So test strategy document and test planning document is actually prepared, means the next phase is actually test scripting. Test scripting. Okay, in this phase only we are going to use the tools, guys. Okay, right now our focus area is actually NeoLoad. Okay, NeoLoad tool, you are going to use it for the scripting purpose. But in industry, people are using load runner, Jmeter, NeoLoad, performance center, blaze meter, a lot of tools. Okay, performance center is not for scripting, but I'm saying execution purpose. So NeoLoad is a scripting tool also. So which means that scripting. Okay. So so scripting phase, what we are doing, we are preparing like a single user level. You are preparing the script and you are making it available for multi-user executions also. Say like usually the script preparation, we are doing it in the single user level only. First, initially we will do it like a single user level only. We will do the script preparation, and post which what we will do, we will make it like a multi-user execution thing. So in that only I told you, you are going to record the script, you are going to customize the script. Okay, customization means what? You are going to do the parameterization, or you are going to do correlation. Okay, if you wish, you can do certain validation, and then you will execute. Okay, so this is actually you are execute in the sense like sanity check. Locally you are going to validate, sanity check, right? So these are the internal activities you are doing. These are the internal activities that you are doing with respect to the scripting phase. Okay, locally you are doing the recording, customization, parameterization, correlation, validation, and then you will execute locally to check our application, or our script is actually working fine without having any error or what. So this is all we are going to do it in the scripting phase. This is all we are going to do it in the scripting phase. Next phase is actually test execution phase. Test execution phase. So in test execution phase only, actually we are going to do different type of test: load test, stress test, endurance test or soak test, endurance test or soak test, and scalability test, scalability and volume test. These are the industry familiar testing types. There are other one or two test types are there, but that are not that greatly used. So these are the major test types we are regularly using. So don't worry, our next topic is actually that one only. Right now I'll quickly move to the next phase of your test execution. After that, test reporting. Okay, so what you are going to do, you are going to analyze your test report, and you are going to provide your findings and observations to the customer. Okay, you are going to do the analysis and then provide your findings and recommendations. So in after providing the findings and recommendation, in certain organization they will analyze that and then they are fixing something in the application, means this is a optional phase only. Retest. Okay, optional phase, not every time you are going to do it. Where some fix the development team when they are doing it, at that time maybe you are using this retest phase. Other than that, this is not a regular activity. Okay, so if you look at it, non-functional requirement gathering, test strategy or test planning, test execution, test reporting, and then finally retest. Okay, all these are performance testing life cycle. Performance testing life cycle. So why I am saying like this particular phase is actually very important. So what happened, during interview, if somebody is asking, Sainsha, could you please brief yourself? Sainsha, could you please brief yourself like that if somebody is actually asking? Okay, Sainsha, could you please brief yourself? So they actually whatever the I mean, tell me about yourself. Whatever the things that you are explaining, right? Internally, it is actually interconnected to life cycle only. Life cycle only. So say like you are asking me the question, the same question to me, Saravanan. Could you please brief yourself like that? Means what I will say. I'm Saravanan. I have so and so experience behind the screen in my mind what will happen, say I have experience in collecting the non-functional requirements from the clients, interact with the clients and then collect the non-functional requirement, and post collecting the non-functional requirement I usually prepare the test planning document. I will put every details in the test planning document and then get the sign off from the clients. Once the test planning document is completed, either we our team will use a Jmeter tool, load runner tool, NeoLoad tool to do the scripting, and I mean whatever the static value handling and whatever the dynamic value handling that we are doing, and in our team we do load testing, endurance testing for the performance testing activity, and post completion of the performance testing, I will analyze the report and provide my findings and recommendations to the client. So basically I have end to end knowledge, yeah, I have end to end experience in performance testing. Like that you are going to explain during the tell me about yourself question. So which implies internally what you are saying, you are using the PTLC lifecycle knowledge only. That knowledge you are going to use it when somebody is asking a question, brief yourself, because that is what your day to day activity and that is what you are summarizing as well. So which means that this particular section, this performance testing lifecycle section, will be very very useful for you during your interview point of time. Any question guys still? No, anybody have any question?
Saravanan, I mean, just one question. If they ask, I'm like, how can you say that is out of scope? I mean, suppose, for example, if you take e-commerce application, which scenarios maybe I can consider like out of scope in that's what.
See, out of scope means what? Other than performance testing, whatever they are expecting, that is out of scope. Okay, you have to clearly call out performance testing only scope, security compatibility testing and all not in scope. That is out of scope. Or in certain organization, test data preparation will be owned by the development team itself, or the account team itself. In that case, you need to call that test data preparation is out of scope. That you can call it as out of scope. And in certain organization, uh, testing alone, performance testing alone scope, we are not going to fix the code, or we are not going to optimize your application, right? So you need to call that out. Optimizing the application or fixing the performance issue is not in the scope. So like that you need to call whatever the things that is not in your scope, you need to call that out separately, so that customer will understand, okay, these guys are only coming for performance testing and they are not going to fix anything, and they are not going to optimize anything, they are not going to prepare any test data, they are not going to do any activity other than performance testing. Like that you need to call it out. Clear?
Okay, okay.
Yeah. See, that planning document or strategy document, wherever you are, I mean, whatever you are working, these things are very important. While calling out, you need to be double sure, because you should. I mean, certain people, what they will do, they will copy paste some previous document. They'll copy paste without knowing the actual requirement. They'll copy paste. But I would say when you are copy pasting, also you should make sure whether you will definitely deliver this to the client or what, or if not, don't put the word in the document, because customer, they'll be very strict once you are putting the word, and if you are not delivering that, that's all, you need to face the consequences. So make sure when you are putting certain words, that I mean kind of deliverables that we are giving it to the client, or activities or task that we are performing for the client, like that if you are putting the word, very 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 sure, you have to be very very sure that that is not going to create any problem in the later part of the release cycle. You need to be sure this is the only thing that I'm going to give, this is what I committed, and this is what I'm going to deliver. Okay, so in that way only this document preparation should be there. And anyways you are going to do multiple reviews and things with the customer also, but I'm saying you have to be make sure that you are not doing unwanted statements in the documents as well. Okay, clear guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, those who join for the evaluation, please reach out to Kumar sir. This is Kumar sir number. Okay, I'll copy paste his number in the chat. 8019952427 is number. Actually, we started the session, but this is for the people to evaluate us, right? For the benefit of those people, we are sharing this information. So I'll also copy paste the course content in the chat. You guys can take it. This is actually a weekday session, Monday to Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Indian time. We are having the session. Corresponding timelines are actually mentioned in the website itself. You can go through that. Okay, corresponding timeline is actually available here. Okay, so corresponding US UK learners, you can go through the timings as well. And we are planning to have 25 plus hours of session. We are going to have it. um, Everything is actually hands-on experience or industry practices. We are going to discuss interview related questions. We are going to discuss certification exam related questions. We are going to discuss. So this is actually 25 plus hours of session. We are going to cover it, and all these sessions are actually recorded. Now also the session is actually recorded. So all these sessions are actually recorded, and we will share the recorded video in the YouTube playlist URL on a daily basis. Say like certain reason you are unable to attend the session because of due to personal reason or professional reason, so you can watch the video. You can come back with your question, and the next day you can ask your questions also. And these videos you are going to have it for lifetime access. These videos you are going to have it for lifetime access. Okay, and all artifacts and supporting documents we will share it through Google Drive. Through the Google Drive we will share all the required information. For the learners who wanted to enroll for this course journey, please reach out to Kumar sir. 8019952427. Okay, 8019952427 is number. You can reach out to Kumar sir for further information. Already we started the session. Okay, today is a day one. Like that, we are going to move forward in the upcoming sessions as well. Thanks for joining today. Thanks for giving me this opportunity to share my knowledge and experience with you people. Yes, we are going to continue the same in the upcoming days as well. Thanks for joining, and have a nice day. Bye bye.